All right, listen up. As a senior leader, I'm going to walk you through one of the most important and maybe most misunderstood regulations for a soldier's career, the rules on fraternization. I've seen more careers get damaged or even ended by this one topic than almost any other. And let's be crystal clear right from the start. This isn't about the Army trying to ban friendships. It's about protecting the very thing that makes us effective: good order and discipline.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. First, we're going to break down what fraternization actually is, in plain English. Then, we'll hit the perception rule. This is a big one. After that, the big 4 things you absolutely cannot do. We'll run some what-if scenarios to make sure you get it. And finally, we'll talk about the ladder of trouble. What happens when you get it wrong?
All right, let's start at the beginning. You hear the word fraternization get thrown around the barracks all the time, right? But what we need to focus on is what the Army says it is, because that's the only definition that matters when your career is on the line. So here it is, straight from the book, AR 600-20. Read that last part again. Prejudicial to good order and discipline. That's the heart of it. That's everything. It's any relationship that blurs the lines, that doesn't respect rank, and most importantly, messes with the unit's ability to function as a professional team. So let's cut through the Army speak. What does it all boil down to? It's simple. If a relationship hurts the chain of command, if it even looks like favoritism, or if it causes other soldiers to lose respect for their leaders, it's a problem. That's the real test right there. Now, we're getting into what I think is the most important part of this whole discussion. This is the part that ends careers. It's the perception rule. Because you have to understand, it's not always about what you're doing, it's about what it looks like you're doing to everybody else. This quote from Lieutenant Colonel Schlosser just nails it. Your intentions, they don't matter, not one bit. If the rest of the platoon thinks there's favoritism, if they perceive an improper relationship, then the damage to morale and discipline is already done. In the United States Army, perception is reality. So just think of these as the big red flags, the perception killers. If your relationship with a superior or a subordinate even hints at any one of these 5 things in the minds of your peers, you're already in violation. It has to pass what we call the smell test. If it seems off to other soldiers, it is off. Okay, so we've talked about the gray area of perception, but the Army also gives us some hard, fast, black and white rules. These are not up for debate. They're not up for interpretation. These are the big 4, the bright lines you do not cross. Number 1, the most obvious one, dating and romance. Any kind of dating or intimate relationship between officers and enlisted or NCOs and junior enlisted is a non-starter. It is the ultimate recipe for favoritism, and it completely poisons the trust within a unit. There's just no way to be objective, and everybody knows it. Number 2, business deals. We're talking about borrowing or lending money or having any other kind of ongoing business relationship. Think about it. How can a sergeant effectively lead a private that he owes $500 to? It creates a completely separate power dynamic that undermines the chain of command. A one-time sale like selling your car, that's okay, but anything ongoing is a definite no-go. Number 3 is in the same ballpark. Gambling. It creates the same exact problem as business deals, debts and leverage. That professional boundary gets real blurry real fast when your platoon sergeant loses a big poker hand to you and owes you a week's pay. It just completely compromises the NCO's authority. And finally, number 4, living together. Sharing an apartment off post as roommates. Look, you can't be arguing with your sergeant about whose turn it is to do the dishes one night and then be expected to treat them as a respected authority figure on the objective the next day. That professional distance exists for a very, very good reason. Okay, we've gone through the rules. We've talked about the theory. Now let's see how it applies in the real world. I'm going to throw a few what-if scenarios at you. Let's see if you can spot the violation. So here's our first one. Staff sergeant needs cash for his car, so he asks a private in his platoon for a loan. Simple question. Is this a violation? Think back to those big 4 we just covered. What's the call? The answer is a hard yes. This is a clear-cut black and white violation. There is zero gray area here. The regulation explicitly prohibits NCOs and junior enlisted soldiers from borrowing or lending money to each other. It's that simple. Okay, scenario 2. This one's a little bit trickier. A lieutenant and a specialist are friends online and comment on each other's stuff all the time. Now, this isn't one of the big 4, right? So you have to fall back on the perception rule. How does this look to all the other specialists in the battalion? And the answer is potentially yes. This is a perfect example of the perception rule in action. It fails the smell test. It creates the appearance of favoritism, and that's just as damaging as the real thing. It makes other soldiers question the fairness of their leadership, and that erodes morale.
All right, last one. And this happens all the time. You have two specialists who are dating. Totally fine, totally by the book. But then, one of them gets promoted to sergeant. What was a perfectly acceptable relationship yesterday is now a problem today. So, what do they have to do?
The second that promotion is pinned on, their relationship is now in violation of the regulation. But the Army knows this stuff happens, so it provides a clear path forward. The couple has 1 year to make a choice: either get married or end the relationship. Doing nothing is not an option. So what happens when a soldier ignores these rules? And let me be perfectly clear about this. The consequences are serious. They are career-ending. This isn't just a friendly suggestion from the Army. AR 600-20 is a punitive regulation. And make no mistake, this policy has teeth. This is a direct order. Any violation can be punished under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And your commanders, they aren't just allowed to enforce this policy, they are required to. They have no choice. I call this the ladder of trouble. The first rung is a formal counseling, a piece of paper that will follow you for the rest of your career. From there, it can escalate to an Article 15. Now you're losing rank, losing pay. Then you might get a GOMOR, a General Officer Memorandum of Reprimand, which is pretty much a guarantee that your career is over. And at the very top of that ladder, a court-martial. That's a federal conviction, military jail, and a dishonorable discharge. So I'm going to leave you with this final question. You need to ask yourself this about every relationship you have. Is it strengthening the unit, or is it putting it at risk? Because good order and discipline are the bedrock of everything we do. Protect your career, protect your unit, and know the regulation.